Pull. Do. Pull. Alright everybody, this is the first time I'm gonna try doing some live trades. Usually I have two screens going and would have a third screen so I could see the chat for people joining in. So I've got YouTube up on my second channel or screen, so I can use that to show you secondary trades. I'm also noticing how much of a delay there is since this is my first time live streaming. Doesn't seem anybody's here, so it won't make a difference, but you might be coming back to look in. So I'll just keep talking anyway. Hopefully the mic with this mask works fairly well. I can probably try sticking the mic in the mask, but I think I get an echo reverb if I do that. I'm not sure if that's better or not. So I guess I'll listen back and find out. Anyway, here we are looking at the NASDAQ. I put in a single trade earlier just to mess with things and make sure it worked. That's the P&L that you're seeing here of $42.26. I did do some actual trading of my own earlier this morning. I did okay. I think I made a total of like $1,000 or so. Not the greatest, not the worst. Right now I'm actually trading combines, which are funded accounts. I do have an account that I funded myself that I trade every once in a while too, but for right now, for a while, I'll probably just do paper trades and sim trades. As you can see, I've also got GameStop up here in the corner, just watching it all the time pretty much, because, you know, us apes want to go to the moon. So, let's take a look at the NASDAQ and see what it's doing. I use a bunch of indicators on my charts. Most of these down below on the bottom are kind of past indicators of what the psychology of it is happening. So that's like, this is the pressure line, buy sell pressure line, the green and red lines. The blue line is a psychology line. This is the momentum. This kind of tends to tell me once it goes up to a high point and it starts to go down past this point, that means it's probably pushing down pretty good. You can see here where it went down, it kept pushing, but then it jumped back up. Unfortunately, again, these are as the market is going, so it's not really giving me a good, necessarily a total future, but it gives me a good past of what the general day has been looking like for this time frame of 9:20 to about now. This is currently set up on 200 ticks. Here you can see all my indicators on the actual chart itself, mostly just ceilings, floors, channels, and then gamma pivot point, which is one that I probably use the most, and we'll talk about it at some point in the near future. You can see here's a resistance 1 for that. All these others are more interim type floors and ceilings. So let's take a look at what it's been doing all day. And so starting at open here in the morning, it kind of shot up for a little bit, and then now it's been going down. So it's gone past the resistance 3 line and then pushed back down well below R1. Why are you wanting to turn off, headset? Because I don't have any sound coming in at the moment. So anyway, it's kind of bouncing in between around this R1 resistance line right now, but I'm going to go ahead and try and see if I can't make $600 while risking $200 really quickly. As you can see, I have a bunch of different brackets that I have tried and use. Some of them I need to go through and cull them. A lot of them are for specific use cases. Right now I'd like to make $600 and call it a day, considering that I'm getting into the market late. At this point I usually prefer to trade very first thing in the morning at open at 7:30, get in 1 or 2 good trades, and then either paper trade for the rest of the day to get practice, or go do something else with my day. Now I'm going to start streaming so that you guys can see what to do and how to make some money and all with combines or with your own money and futures. I do also plan on talking about GameStop every once in a while, maybe doing some interviews, skits, other things of that nature. Let's see what we got going. Are we going to go back up to this R1 line? That's my guess. Okay. So, I use the Streamlab for buttons to help me make things go quicker, so instead of having to actually come over here and click the button, and I'm probably going to lose $200 right off the bat. Or I'm going to get lucky and it's going to go back up from here. Now this is where you kind of have to have, I could stop now and have already made $200 and be pretty good for the day. That's more than, some people make in a year in some countries, which is very, very unfortunate actually. I think the global average is around 20,000 a year or something of that nature. And it looks like we might be down and we're going to lose that 200. Nope, it's going to go back up. So what I'm banking on and looking at, and why I'm not jumping out at $100 to $200, is this channel that is pushing up. And then I'm assuming that this resistance line, it's not going to want to go past that R1, that Camarilla point. Am I saying that right? Probably not. Anyway, and then this has also been a top here. So my guess is that it'll get close to this top. That's why I got in about when I did. I really honestly should have got in at the bottom of the channel, like right around here. So it's not a perfect entry. But here we can watch it and see what it does. It really likes to bounce around that $200 to $300 mark. I need to find some good royalty-free music. If anybody watching this later on knows of any good channels, they can shoot me a message or whatever. Oh wow, look at how close I got to closing out there. So, since I'm not really worried about losing more than $200, since this is a fake account, I'm going to go ahead and lower this down to this point down here. And the reason that I lowered it to this point is because this is a bottom for this, what seems to be like it's been going up. A lot of this is instinctual. Some people would consider this maybe a head and shoulders, where this could be a shoulder here, this could be a head, and then now it should bounce back up again. I kind of tend to look more for long-term trends of actions that it's doing. So again, I'm going to be looking back here and I'm going to say, okay, it's been going up, it's going to go down, it's going to go back up, and my guess is probably for the rest of the day it's going to continue on a downward trend. But again, these are all just guesses. We are all just gambling, and I am very smooth-brained. So, it's looking like I was wrong, and it's going to go back down again. Now at this point, sometimes if I'm feeling super anxious and nervous, I might reverse, thinking that it's going to continue to trend downward for the day, instead of giving me my shoulder that I'm looking for, which would have probably been the smart move. I wonder if George of the Jungle song is license free at this point. Although license free and copyright ownership are completely separate things, and the last thing I want to get is a DMC, which I might have to change my audio cues for when I buy and sell, because I use video game noises from mostly Nintendo Mario games. Also, this mask is awesome. The map actually moves with it. I will probably reach out to the company that makes this mask that I got them from and let them know what I'm doing. Should be a good idea. And I will post a link to their web store in each of my chats. Just another of note, I do this for mostly a living. I also do other investments and other things. So this channel helps support me and my family, but a majority, which I'm not sure, that I haven't decided on an exact percent yet, but maybe I'll have a vote. But I'm guessing at least 50%, if not 60 to 80%, will go to a nonprofit organization, and that will be after costs of doing stuff like, buying Twitch Premium or Prime or OBS Prime, so that I can be streaming on both Twitch and YouTube at the same time. So here we see it bouncing around that $300 mark again. Normally I don't like being in a play this long, and would be out of this at this point, and would just say screw it and take the $300. But I'm really feeling it going to that $600 mark. I think my first live trade is gonna do what I want it to do. I hope. That's all we can all do, is hope. Oh, and there it goes back down again. My heart, be still. Oh, and there it goes. But anyway, at the end of every month, I will donate the extra proceeds to some sort of charity, and that charity will be decided by you all. I will start doing polls. I don't really have any followers at the moment, I don't think. Maybe one subscriber I think I just got a couple hours ago. Thank you, whoever you are out there in the world, if you actually come and watch this video. I know I have another couple friends who will probably come in and watch. So we'll pick our first nonprofit to donate proceeds to. If I don't get a very significant amount in the first month or so, then or two, we'll continue that one group for a while until they at least receive something of use, rather than just $20. Also, please let me know how the audio on this is. I probably should get a better mic. I'm thinking about trying in-ear AirPods, although I don't have AirPods. I have the Samsung versions, so that it's coming from inside of the mask. Again, I can move the mic itself to inside of the mask, and I'm not sure if this becomes too loud or if you get a reverb or an echo. I can also mess with settings. I'm sure somebody out there is more versed in this than I am on what would be best. Wonder what GME is doing. Let's take a look at that while this is going on. I need to pay for a second brokerage account so I can actually see equities too. Let's make this guy. That just made that other one go back to normal size. Now it's just doubling up. I need to get used to this OBS thing and how Windows work in it. I should probably just mess with it in OBS itself. So here we got GameStop is going down 2.5%. Oh, scary. Buy the dip, buy the dip, buy the dip. DRS your stocks. I just got mine in the mail the other day. I am very excited about that. That is one thing, again, like I said, I will talk about in mornings, is how, GameStop is looking, what people are saying about it in the news, Reddit being probably one of the main sources, but I will use primary sources from Reddit, go over some of what they call DDs, of what is people's opinions of what's happening. Also, I might devote a whole video about what exactly a short squeeze is, why it's a short squeeze, what that means, and try and do it in a way that is as simplified as possible to try and explain it to smooth brains, as we like to call ourselves, that don't have knowledge, to you know, the normal people in our lives. I know it can be difficult to explain to your parents why a meme stock or a GameStop stock is actually a valuable investment, or what it will mean for the economy and in the long run, or the potentiality of it, and the amount of crime that's being committed behind closed doors in Wall Street. Oh wow, I just saw negative 420. I should be jumping out. Those apes either like or hate that number. I personally like it. I'm going to take it as a good sign that it's going to bounce back. It bounced off of the 420. And as we can see now, the trend lines are starting to go down. So my channel is starting to push down, which leads me to believe that we're going to have a downturn direction of this. So what I'm actually going to do is move this way low, just so that I hope to make something off of this trade instead of a loss on it. Again, this is a completely fake account, a paper trade, so my risk aversion and all of that is going to be a lot higher. I try to keep my risk to the exact same what I would actually do with a real account for my real trades, just so that I'm getting that correct practice on it. The only difference is that I'm willing to do more trades up, and there was a loss, and as you can see, the sound effect that might need to be changed. So now that it seems like it is going down, instead of trying to push back up, we are sitting again right in the middle of that R1 and S1. Normally I would sit around, stare at the computer, and wait for it to go down or up, and the R1, S1 channel is kind of a bounce up and down, up and down. So when it's sitting in the middle, I'm not a big fan of this, but it has been going down since it hit the top earlier. So let's go ahead and go sell. And as you can see, I'm trading 2 contracts at a time, which means it can move fairly quickly to that loss. So sometimes I'll have to move my risk up if I'm willing to lose more than the $200. I usually try and do a 1-3, basically where I'm willing to lose 1/3 of what I'm trying to win, which means for every win that I have, I can have 3 losses and practically break even, minus brokerage fees and stuff like that, which is, you know, what, $10, $15, $20 depending on the broker. And of course now it's going to jump back up, and it's going to go and lose me more than the 200 that I want to lose. Oh, there was that 420 again. Come on. You can do it. Go down. Go down. I feel like it's a car when you're trying to start it and it doesn't want to start. If you talk to it sometimes, it'll listen to you. Come on, you can do it. You can do it. Go down. Although in reality it doesn't mean anything. And this whole talking and trading at the same time is not as difficult as I thought it would be. One thing I am worried about is once I actually have to start dealing with chat. So anybody who's getting in early on this video with me and wants to help out with moderation of chat or administration of chat and whatnot, let me know, because I'm sure I will be needing that in the future, especially when I'm trading actual live accounts instead of fake paper accounts. So I still think it's going way down, and I still feel like, oh, I didn't get to move it in time, which this is actually maybe not necessarily the worst. So I still think it's going to go down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in a sell for 2. I'm going to move this bracket all the way up to R1 and move this bracket all the way down to S1, because I think that's probably a bottom. I think we've been kind of stuck in this R1 channel for a while. I'm going to move it actually just a little bit above that, because a lot of times it likes to bounce off of those indicators and then bounce back down. This means I'm going to be making a lot more back. Hopefully some of that $1,325 that I've lost while talking and trying to trade at the same time. It is very easy to lose money fast in the NASDAQ, or to gain it very fast in the NASDAQ. Let's see, how long have I been streaming? I am curious as to how much this makes me feel. Does it say anywhere on how long I've been streaming? I'm sure it's somewhere. I look away and it starts going the direction I wanted it to make me money. Go market, go. Go market, go. And there was the 420 the other direction. Yay, go. So now we're only losing $600 for the day. Don't forget that you have to pay attention to what your total P&L is for the day, not just what your current trade is. I'm very excited about making the $600 right now, or, well, unrealized profit of $600, $400 now. But I have to pay attention to that total P&L, especially if you're trying to trade for a combine where you only have a trailing drawdown that you're allowed to lose. Also, it's nice to know that you don't want to lose, your gambling money. Never use your rent, your food money, or anything like that to day trade with. That can get you into a bad place financially. So it's always good to pay attention to your total. It can also, your psychological being and how you are feeling is definitely something to pay attention to. You do not want to be trading with emotion. Your best is to zen and meditate. I actually will take bubble baths, if you believe it, sometimes if I'm having a bad time trading, and then we'll come back and do well. Sometimes I'll just say I'm done for the day after losing a large amount, and then be done. I usually set a specific amount that I'm willing to lose for the day. Again, that is usually 1/3 of what I'm trying to win for the day. But I usually will also stop out sometimes between 2/3 and a full win, just because it's within the range of what I'm happy to have made for the day. One of the biggest things with day trading is being consistent, and so trading every single day, if you can, even if it's just practicing, is very good, and being consistent with your rules that you apply. So as you've seen with this, I've actually already broken a lot of my rules, which is by moving brackets, staying in after losing more money than I normally would want to stay in. But again, I'm doing a live stream with live trades to show people how things go. So yeah, I'm also not scared of loss. When it's this type of case, so because it's not real money. So more than likely in the future when I live stream with kind of combine account or an actual account, it'll be only 1 or 2 trades, and then we will switch over to paper trading like this. And so I'm not really trying to stick within my normal rules of how I would have traded the simulation account. Also doing things like this allows me to know that, hey, by moving that bracket up to that point, I have a longer window to stay in, depending on the amount of volatility that is going on. I do have on my other screen, which I can't show you guys right now because of OBS, a chart with volume this is a 15-minute chart here, so that I can see what the volume is over a 15-minute period going. It looks like it just showed you my background for some reason. Hopefully I don't get in trouble for somebody's art that's on there, because I'm not sure who that is, otherwise I would give you credit. I'm an artist and I hate people not getting credit for their work. As you can see, the volume is starting to taper. I am Mountain Standard Time. So the times may look a little different to you. I might be able to adjust that to be Eastern Time for the actual market times, which might be better for streaming purposes and whatnot. And as you can see, it looks like it is slowly going down from that R1 point towards that S1 point. And we keep bouncing at around the $500 to $600 mark. And so if I had taken the $300 before and the $600 now, you know, we'd be making around $900 to $1,000 and change, depending on, you know, when exactly I got in and out. Feel free to ask any questions at any time. I have a Discord that I started. I'll put a link in the comments and on my channel eventually for that. I will be in there fairly active. I usually have another laptop and a tablet set up for news and for watching other people's streams or other videos or information in general on trading. This is essentially a full-time job where you want to be constantly updating and researching yourself, not only on what different indicators are, what different trade strategies there are, what risk management, and even stuff like meditation, and also news. The news is a very important thing to watch. I highly recommend doing the opposite of what any of them tell you. Especially a certain Kramer person. There's actually a whole inverse of his. Now see, it's going to go bounce back up to that R1, but I highly doubt that it's going to go past it and go back up for the day. It very well could, because I said something. But let's take a look at what it's been doing over the past couple of months. So now we can basically see almost a year's worth, not quite, February to August, June, July. So here we're coming in closer into today and the past couple of months, where it has been coming up from a giant drop down at the end of June or middle of June. We tanked and we've been slowly coming back as an economy. I'm happy for that. I'd much rather our economy doing good than bad, but as a day trader, it ultimately doesn't really matter, because if it goes up or down, I can still short or put long shots in. I think I need to get a cup with a straw, because drinking from this mask is going to be entertaining. Let's see how this trade goes. And then I might end the stream on that, because this being my first one, we don't want too much, and I kind of want to see how it turned out myself. Still nobody's joined, I'm so sad. Ooh, I can pop the chat out. Toggle timestamps, send feedback, manage moderators, participant. Go. GameStop is still hovering around that $40 mark. I'm hoping we break through it by Friday. I was hoping we'd break through 50 by Friday, but that didn't happen. Or it's probably not going to happen at this point, although there could be a giant leap at the end of this week tomorrow. Oh, there we go again. Back to making money. So here again, zoom in a little. See it? Whoa, what did I just do? So if you ever screw up like that, there's this nice little F button up here you can push, where it'll bring you right back to where you're supposed to be. Looks like I'm just way in the past now. Oh, looks like it might be starting to try to go back up again. You can see that channel pushing up, but I don't trust it based off of what the day channel has been doing. There's that red trend line pointing down too, to me. So I still think we're going to be able to make at least something today. even if it's a loss. We still did something. There you go. Is it going to go past that point? So, as you can see, it came down and bounced off of that low point again, like it's wanting to go up. I am, again, would be very tempted normally to get out now and take the $400, as it seems to be bouncing between that low point and that high point within this channel. But I also still think that it's trending down, and would just assume take one trade instead of trying to do multiple trades over and over again to make a comeback, mostly for brokerage fees and the cost of it, trying to keep yourself within that pattern day trading limits, and then also I just don't want to have to be that active right now. So I'm hoping that's going to go down and make us that money. Now, one thing that you do have to be aware of when you're doing a combine, where you're trying to get a funded account through a trial, is that there's a trailing drawdown. So right now, I'm actually losing money as a total P&L, but when I started, I was up $46. So if I have a $1,000 trailing drawdown, meaning that if I hit $1,000, it would then kick me out, which would now have kicked me out of the combine. I actually only have $950 because of that $50 that I was positive, because it follows. So there's specific types of brackets and break-even points that I will use for combine testing, I guess you can call it, and also when I first get a new combine account to help prevent myself from hitting those trailing drawdowns, because, you know, at one point I was making $700. If I had made a total of $700, that would only leave me a leeway of $300 within this trade of it going negative, if that makes sense. And I just realized me pointing at the screen doesn't actually point you at the screen. That's what mice are for. Hey, GME looks like it might be coming back up again. That would be a very nice thing. How is... I tend to be looking to the side a lot with where the camera is. I guess when I come back and review this video after this trade, I'll see where the best position is. I do use a standing desk. With a green screen behind me, or blue screen in this case specifically. And I am, why do you, I don't want you to see all my notifications. Open Action Center. Clear all notifications. There's a way to change manage notifications. There we go. So yeah, it looks like Lilu, one of the combines, is having some sort of sale that's going on. And it looked like my energy company wants to get a hold of me for something. Check that out on my phone and see what they want. Basically, they're offering help for COVID relief people and their bills. That's actually kind of nice. Oh. Oh, now YouTube sent me a congrats on my first time streaming. Yay. Thank you, YouTube. Somebody cares. It really likes to bounce around that point. I'd really like to actually come out positive today before I end this stream. So I'm going to move this buy up to here. Because I'm pretty sure it's going to bounce off of that. I also think I need to reset my computer for an update and find something to eat in the near future. So that'll make me at about losing $1,000 for the day if it goes down that low again. As you can see, day trading is sometimes a lot of just sitting around and waiting for the market to go one direction or the other. Let's lower my losing point down again. Mostly just because I need to check the stream and make sure it actually turned out well and did well. I'll be back in a little bit after this failed trade. Come on, you can go back down. I'm just gonna kind of follow these low and high points as it goes and see what happens. Of course, on the first day of streaming live trading, I lose around $2,000. Is what it looks like it's going to be. But again, this was just kind of a test. And it just also goes to show how difficult predicting the market can be. As you can see, it is being very volatile, up, down, over the past, couple of thousand trades or whatever that has occurred. What is the volume over the last 15 minutes? There it goes, showing my background again. Yep, there it went. So yeah, we lost nearly $2,000. So I'm gonna do a YOLO, see if we can't have fun with this. We're gonna put in 10 contracts. We're gonna shoot for don't I have, there it is, $5,000 YOLO with 10 contracts. Wait, no, that did not work. Close. Forgot to change the number of contracts after switching. This is one thing about NinjaTrader that you have to learn its little quirks. Once I changed the brackets, it automatically changed the number of contracts that was set up to, I limited this. Let's do 5. So, there's a YOLO $5,000 trade. See if it goes past R1 back up to R2. If I had done this earlier, we would have been doing much better. I might reset this sim account so that I can have more contracts. I think it's limited to 5, I'm not positive. I can't remember what I had it set to. I know it's not on the defaults anymore. Another thing that I recommend doing is you can change the color of this so that you can tell when you're on a live account versus a sim account, so that you do not accidentally trade a live account when you were planning on doing a sim. It looks like we're having a nice run up here, looky here, we might be getting close to breaking even on this. It's pushed through that R1, and it's going to bounce down below it, but it's going to push up real hard, it looks like to me. Nope, of course. Why did I say that? And there, does that pop up? Do you see? What am I don't think it streamed it. Cool. I'll have to look for that later. But a notification that one of my friends is playing it. Nope, it did pop up. I need to turn off notifications. I'm just going to log out though. But here we go. We've just about made half our money back already. And it really doesn't have to go too much further for us to get to a break-even point. Keeps bouncing back and forth. I'm guessing after another couple of minutes, 5, 10, 15, it'll stop bouncing around that R1 and go one direction or the other. Based off of how it's been above it, I'm hoping that it's going to go up. And then once it does that, I will move this bracket to a positive point up here. So now at this point, no matter what, I'm going to at least make, something out of this trade. As you can see, I use the channel point basically as kind of this channel that's in here as what I was looking at to determine where to move that to. The yellow line, this bar, and the channel are kind of where that intersection in this general area in here is what I was looking for. I need to figure out the hotkeys to how to draw on this for y'all. Alright, looky there. We are almost back to breaking even after just completely some bad trades. So again, it's going to hit the bottom of that little channel there, and it's going to go up. As you can see, the channel has also gotten tighter, which is an indicator that it is going more that direction, and that the channel is smaller, the variances between the highs and lows of the candles. Come on, market. Come on, market. You can do it. You can do it. You can do it. Really need some music. I have to figure that out soon. How you doing, GameStop? Oh, you're almost back up to 40. Maybe I should use GameStop as an indicator of what the NASDAQ's doing. See how it's wanting to bounce kind of up around this R1 point. These to me are, like I said, very strong indicators of what the market is doing and how you read them. And it's a resistance point, R1, where it's going to go down to support 1, more than likely again. Since it's been kind of flat for the afternoon, this is very typical in the lunchtime, afternoon time period of the market. It's usually much more volatile and goes one direction very quickly first thing in the morning, and then tends to kind of trend the direction, going the opposite direction from that for a little while, and then will flatten out. Now again, this is just what I have been noticing over the past year or two, I think 2 years now that I've been doing this. So looks like it might go down again because It's got that nice hard point that it created. That hard ceiling that it does not want to push through for me, so that I can at least sort of break even. I'd like to make a little bit of money. So I'm guessing it's probably not going to go past R2. So that $5,000 in one trade, probably not going to happen. There you go. Come on, just go past that mark. Go past that mark. Oh, bounces right off it and back down. Oh, you can do it. So I'm going to move my sell, or stop, up here in a little bit, because I don't like how flat it's being. Put it right about here. Because that's still quite a bit of money. And like I said before, there's a pretty good chance that it'll go back down to that S1 mark, which is way down there. At least that is once it breaks through that R1 point again. What I'm really hoping for is that it breaks through this. So we're going to move this even further down just a little bit. Hit F. So that we can see a little bit easier. Put it at the top of this channel maybe, because that'll actually make us some money. I'm going to move this to what the algorithm is telling me is the bottom of this general area here. And we're going to watch it and see what it does. Stretch. I'm pretty much a self-taught day trader, mostly just following trends. I have watched some other live trades from other people and talked to some people about it. And that's part of the main reason I'm trying to do this, is create a community of people that we can start talking about this kind of stuff. So, you know what? Let's try this again, because like I said, I'm pretty sure that it's going to go back down now. So we're going to switch this to 5, and we're going to say sell the market. It's really liking that as a hard point, so I'm going to move this just up a little bit there. And then now if it goes all the way down to that point, we're going to make $5,000 minus 702, so we'll make about $4,000. And it's not even all the way down to that S1 point. Let's see what it looks like compared to what we've hit before. So that is not an absolute bottom of the day already. So this is a bet that is likely that it could hit. Now again, this is very risky with 5 contracts. You have a chance of losing quite a bit of money. I believe it's up to $1,000 or $2,000 on it. I'd have to look and see what my bracket is actually set up at. I can't do that at this exact moment. I can go over how to create brackets and stuff like that if people are interested in that. I use them is to mostly set the starting points of a maximum, a minimum for a loss, and then we'll try and consolidate them down to what I think is a more feasible or reasonable amount. There have been lots of times where the price has bounced off of what I thought the price was going to go past, and I end up losing out on a bet. You can have a stop loss point where if it automatically goes past $200, for example, it will set a spot at $100 so that no matter what, you'll make $100. And then you can also have it trail it so that once it hits $300, you'll make $200, $400, $300, and so forth. I find that very, very useful for combine trading and whatnot. Up, and there it went past R1, it went up. This is just me being impatient. If I had stayed in the trade earlier, we probably would be doing good, because it might actually go back up. As I said earlier, the market has been kind of trending in an upward fashion for the past 2 months. Past couple of days has been... We were up yesterday by quite a bit. We had 3 days of down. As you can see, these 3 days going down almost equate to the full amount of what yesterday's up was. So we had a big up here and a little up here. My guess is that we might have a repeat of this, or we might have this push back down as a correction. Also, since I'm self-taught, I'm sure a lot of the terminology and the words that I use are not the correct terms. I am a smooth brain, after all, and self-taught wrinkles, which most of us retail traders are. It's pretty amazing that we now have access to the ability to do this and trade in this manner from our own homes. So, I thought we were going to be good there for a second, but it's going to bounce back up over that R1. But again, this R1 point to me is feeling like a very short-term ceiling. Since about is that 9:30? Yeah, around 9:30 or so, Mountain Time. It hasn't wanted to go past that point. We are getting on to the end of the lunch rush, so we'll see what it does for the rest of the afternoon. Which I am definitely getting hungry. Yeah, that's interesting. GME is following the NASDAQ currently, kind of, as it is now kind of going back down. I hardly ever trust what it says. Like I said, I need to get a second brokerage license for Ninja so that I can show equities on these charts instead of this random chart from Google. Also, really need to find some music that I'm allowed to use. This mask has been surprisingly comfortable for how long I have been wearing it with a headset on, which makes it a little bit squishier around my ears. The chin, I think if I don't shave regularly, will be itchy. Here we go. See, now we're starting to do well again. Our total P&L is about to go positive. We are now making $100. So I'm now going to move this to here just in case it decides it wants to reverse on us again. I don't think it's going to, but what we're going to do is we're going to follow this guy down with this, because us making $500 or so is perfectly fine by me. Oh, move it up. Oh, I barely caught that in time before it did it. What you gonna do? What you gonna do?
Game over.
Well, we ended up losing 60. And I probably shouldn't have done that. Darn, we could have probably made a couple, $100 off of that. Well, let's see, what do we think's still gonna happen? Is it going to bounce back up? I should have left it at that yellow line. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put a sell limit of 5 up here. Again, another sound that might get me in trouble. Hopefully not. It's so close to this R1 line and it went below. You know what? We're just gonna jump in. Oh, cancel. Did not like me trying to do that with that many. With one again. See, this is another thing with Robinhood where it will change up what your specific settings are. So again, to 5, and that just cost us $20 for a little screw up of not putting in the correct amount that we wanted to trade. So market. And watch it bounce back up over R1 and go back to us losing a couple of grand. I'm sure that's exactly what's going to happen. You make just a couple of mistakes. I missed the bottom by just a little bit. We would have been up $500 or $600 if I had gotten out at the better time than before. I don't blame that necessarily on streaming and chatting and talking, but it definitely is a distraction that I'm noticing from it. I was literally talking about my mask at that point, and here we are at making. Come on, you can go further. What we're gonna do is we're gonna do this, and then we're then gonna hold my finger over that close button, and I think we might decide to take making $300. Now again, we had to do a lot of work for that to make that $300, more so than I normally would like to. But now that I've actually gone positive after chatting during my first stream, I'm gonna take a break, get something to eat, and I might come back. I think I will keep the 100,000 and 161. I need to maybe change some other parameters in it, so I might lose that. My computer does need a restart. I also will probably leave the stream going, usually 24/7 with the NASDAQ chart going. And then doing the actual live streamings while I'm actively trading. Looks like we got out at a fairly good point because now it's bouncing back up, but now it's probably going to bounce back down. Anyway, may you all have a good day and find peace on your path, and